Hello everyone, Andy Schwab here with your Northern Ag TV. Well, German officials on Friday announced they are facing severe restrictions on meat and dairy exports after the discovery of foot and mouth disease was confirmed late last week. German authorities confirmed that the country's first outbreak of the foot and mouth disease is in nearly 40 years in a herd of water buffalo on the outskirts of Berlin. Of course, foot and mouth disease causes fever and mouth blisters in cloven-hooved ruminants such as cattle, swine, sheep, and goats, and in past decades has required major slaughter campaigns to eradicate that. Now, German officials are making sure the disease does not spread and does not have a timeline quite yet for when those exports will kick back in. And pulling from the global news to the national news, the U.S. Supreme Court yesterday announced they are refusing to hear Utah's challenge to the federal BLM land. As you may recall, Utah had filed a lawsuit in August asking the court to declare the BLM ownership of 18.5 million acres of land in Utah unconstitutional, with potential ramifications for public lands across the country. Utah argued that the BLM's ownership and oversight of that land harms the state's sovereignty and that the federal government should start to dispose of those lands. Now, that case has been remanded to the U.S. Court of Appeals for further consideration. And looking at the events calendar, the next generation of agriculturists are being highlighted this week. That, of course, is through the Wyoming and the Montana Farm Bureau Federation's Young Farmer and Rancher conferences happening in their respective states. Leading off, Wyoming is hosting their annual conference in Cody on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with a collegiate discussion meet Thursday night, tours, and keynote speakers on the remainder of that conference. Now, similarly, Montana's Young Farmer and Rancher Conference begins on Friday evening with a dinner and a social hour and has a full schedule of workshops, tours, and speakers on Saturday and Sunday morning as well, with a keynote address from Barney Sheridan. Now, that details can be found on our events calendar, northernag.net. We're back in 60 seconds with your ag markets.
From the beginning, we've worked closely with farmers. BNSF's ties to the agricultural community go back 175 years. Together, we've innovated to make the U.S. agriculture supply chain one of the most efficient and productive in the world. Our strong relationship powers BNSF still today and helps us move the nation like no one else can. At BNSF, we move the nation for you.
Talking with someone that you know is stressed out, those are difficult things to approach, but if you're good friends with those people, reach out and say, I'm here to talk to you. We can find somewhere to get some assistance. It's hard to get involved, but at the same time, you want to just say, hey, there is help available.
For more tips in dealing with stress in agriculture or for free counseling for egg producers, visit beyondtheweather.com.
Well, traders on the cattle futures took the start of the week to rake in some profits after huge gains were noted last week on their trading session. Live and feeder cattle contracts saw minor triple-digit drops as corn costs continue to climb to price levels we haven't witnessed since October of 2023. Unfortunately, that could lead to some additional liquidation this week. However, strong beef demand could force the packers to pay steady money on last week's record-setting prices. Speaking of some strong prices, I'm not sure that the diamond ring sale with the Northern Livestock Video Auction has ever dropped the gavel as high as they did yesterday. Early prices saw some of those heavy 6-weight steers running $313 to $319 on those January and February delivered steers, while their bigger brothers with another 50 pounds, well, they're only back about a dime, meaning the average on those per head prices was about $2,100 to $2,200 a head. On the grain front, the strength of the corn ultimately led the wheat futures no longer being able to ignore the positive influence from those row crops. As you may recall, Friday's round of the reports from the USDA were very neutral for the most part, with old crop ending stocks left more or less even with the just slight upticks due to the higher imports, undoubtedly because of that firm U.S. dollar. Looking ahead, wheat traders will likely focus on the U.S. weather and those winter wheat states, along with those crop conditions that will be coming out at the top of each month. Well, that's going to do it for our Northern Ag TV. I'm Andy Schwab. Have a great rest of your day.